So I want to talk about Silicon Valley a little bit because of a few things. I have a friend whose family is moving there, and I was doing some research into it, and it is just amazing some of the stuff that goes on there. And yeah, so my friend, his dad, he's got a job offer at like in the heart of Silicon Valley. I think it's called like Redwood or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he's making a lot of money there, so it's going to be quite amazing. But anyways, excuse me. So Silicon Valley, what is it? It's this giant mecca or very densely packed area where there's hundreds of tech companies. I think there's hundreds of tech companies and there's 1,000 square kilometers in my notes here. So think about that. There's 100 and so what are these companies? And what are these companies? So I have the list here. So we got companies like Apple, I don't know, Amazon. Just name a tech company. Amazon, I think eBay has one there. We got YouTube. Pick another one. Google. I guess Google owns YouTube now, so I shouldn't have said that. But Google. What other tech companies are there? Do you guys have some? Yell them out on Periscope. Let's see, we got here. Oh yeah, Sony, Microsoft, yeah, like all the company, any big company there. So Sony, Microsoft, there's a bunch more, all right? There's a bunch more. I ran out of room there again. So pretty much in this one tiny area in San Francisco, around San Jose, are all these massive companies. And even though their headquarters aren't necessarily all there, a lot of their development and research and all that is in this one area. And so you can walk from like one company to the other. You can walk from, just for example, like an Amazon building to the Apple building in a few minutes. Although those are actually pretty far apart, but it's just an example. Like you can walk into two massive companies' buildings in minutes. It's just amazing how tightly packed that stuff is in there. So this area it's like 4 counties. It's called Santa Clara County. That's where most of these are, but there's like 4 other ones. But yeah, so why is it called Silicon Valley? Actually, it's because when this was becoming a big tech area, there was like silicon, what is it called? I'm losing, there's like a bunch of silicon companies there. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm moving on. So that's why it's called Silicon Valley, because there's a bunch of silicon companies there. Silicon tech companies. So anyways, I'm moving on. There are 500,000 tech jobs, high tech jobs, in this one area. 500,000 high tech jobs in that one little area. And so that's actually led to a problem there recently, because there's a lot of jobs being created there, but there's not enough houses and apartments and condos being built there. So I was looking actually at the real estate market before researching this video, and I was able to find that in the heart of Silicon Valley, the prices are pretty much like downtown New York. So an 800 square foot condo was $500,000. Like this condo, this apartment that I'm in right now is pretty much that size, and I'm a student. Right, I don't have a high-tech job, and it's a lot less than that. It's at least half that price. Yeah, I guess so. And 1,000 square foot apartment I found was, the last one was 800. I found another one for 1,000 square feet, which was 610,000, and I saw that there was a 1,100 square foot house for $1.1 million. 1,100 square feet for 1.1. That's doing some math there. That's $1,000 per square foot. Like, seriously. Those are the prices of Silicon Valley to live there. And so they're working on trying to put some more houses in, but it's so like densely packed in there that all the houses are like on the outskirts and stuff now. So it's really weird. So if you ever move there, just know that the house prices there are pretty insane. So Another thing I found was that 29% of people employed in that area, 29% of people, employed in that area specifically have high-tech jobs. So 1 out of every 3 to 4 people you meet will have a high-tech job with one of these big companies. Imagine that. You know, here in Waterloo, so I'm actually in a place right now, which is the Silicon Valley of Canada, right? And so we have 100 companies here in Waterloo and Kitchener, which is the neighboring city. So we have a bunch of companies, but the biggest one here was BlackBerry, which has like this entire, like, if I were to open these blinds up and peel away the board, there would be a bunch of BlackBerry buildings in the background. So, yeah, anyways, but it's nothing compared to the actual Silicon Valley in California. But I know what it's like to kind of live in that area. And so saying that, I live in the Canadian version of that, and the prices here are half that in California. So anyways, some more things I want to point out here. The one amazing stat I found was that it receives almost half of all venture investment capital in the United States. And so, you know, what is venture investment capital? So it's like Shark Tank. That's a good way of explaining that. I already talked about Damon John in my last video, or in the last Kanye West thing. So it's venture capital is, when you want to invest money in a company, and it's generally viewed as more of like a direct way. Instead of the stock market, which you do it online, you don't really meet anyone. Venture capital is usually you go and you meet the founder of the startup company, and you're like, okay, I want 40% of the company for $100,000, and that's what a venture capital is. So half of America's venture capital deals and money happen in this one little area in the United States. Pretty crazy, eh? So, and lastly, one more thing I want to point out about Silicon Valley is that, so out of the population there, 15% are female, okay? 15% of the population there is female. A little bit of a sausage fest, right? And also, I found that 55% of the people in that area are Caucasian or white. So it's a bunch of white dudes there. It's all white dudes, pretty much. And I was reading some more stuff that there were big tech companies like Apple and Google and stuff where only like 2 to 3% of their employees are, you know, black or Hispanic. Which is quite like, it's really strange actually to me, because I live in a pretty diverse area, and Silicon Valley is a bunch of white dudes, pretty much. That stay on the computer all day, right? Although saying that, that's kind of what I do. I'm a white dude that spends a lot of time on the computer. So that's what I wanted to talk about for Silicon Valley, actually. Just some random background information, like what is Silicon Valley, what companies are there, what's the demographic like. So yeah, and now moving on to one more thing. Okay, this is going to be a large part of the stream, so I want to talk about investment strategies next. But I guess before doing that, what do you guys think of Silicon Valley? What do you think of the TV show, actually? That's another thing that why I wanted to talk about Silicon Valley, is the TV show. I started watching that, and I binge watched that too. And it might be my favorite TV comedy of all time, actually. It's very funny, very raunchy. I highly recommend it. So, anyways, yeah, what do you guys think of Silicon Valley? Do you guys have any experience with anyone living there? I want to know what it would be like to live there. Just a bunch of tech people in one area. So,